Well, happy 4th of July. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. I'm Michael Hausam. And so what we are going to do today is I am going to walk you through how to make your next home move like a pro. So if you're stuck or you're not sure what's the right next step, or maybe you have concerns about getting what you want, this is for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the plan that serious homeowners can use to make their next home move like a pro. And that's whether you're buying, whether you're selling, or both. I'm going to show you the dream outcome, the 3 things that will get in the way of that happening, a 3-part solution, and the critical missions that are helping you going to get there. And so here's the very best part, is that this doesn't matter whether you have a realtor or not, or even if you're not going to use one at all. Well, hi, buddy. This is definitely not recorded. This is live. Buddy, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to take that box and go out of the office. Please. Go right now.
Let's go.
Go. Close the door. Close the door.
Now.
Oh, yep. This is definitely not recorded. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. Now, before I go any further, let me give you the quick version of why I'm the one talking about this and why you should listen to me. So my name is Michael Hausam. I'm an active real estate broker in Southern California. And I first got into the business in 1991. Back when I was still getting haircuts every 3 weeks. So I first started on the mortgage side of the business, and then I added the real estate license about a decade later. So I've worked both sides of the transaction, real estate and financing. I've helped buyers and sellers through a lot of different markets over that time, and rank in the top 3 to 4% of agents nationwide. So this is active, current information that I'm giving you. It's not theory. It's literally things that I'm putting into place right now with clients across the country, as well as here with my business in Orange County. Now, the reason that matters is because after decades of watching people buy and sell and panic and overpay and underprepare and hire the wrong person, trust the wrong advice, and miss risks that they never even knew existed, I can tell you this. Most people aren't losing money because they're dumb, right? Or they don't know. That they're actually losing money because they don't know what a pro-level move is supposed to look like. And that is why I built Haus Advantage. It is not to replace your realtor, and it is not to pitch myself as your agent. That is not what's going on here. But the whole point is to give serious home buyers and home sellers private, independent advice so they can understand the strategy, they can understand costly mistakes, and they can work with their realtor like a pro and not just a passenger. So I want to illustrate it like this. I'm going to illustrate this for you like this. So this is you right here. Okay? And this is where you want to end up. That is your goal. And the goal may be a new house if you're buying, or if you're selling, your goal may be a bunch of money after selling your house. So this here is your journey, going from where you are to your goal. And standing between you and your goal, there are a bunch of things that you might be concerned about. In fact, you might even be stuck right now thinking about these things. You may be concerned about the marketplace, or overpaying if you're a buyer, or not getting enough money or leaving money on the table if you're a seller. It could be whether or not you've actually hired the right realtor, or the timing of things, the way that they should go down, the sequence or the order, or making mistakes about strategies or tactics or any of the mechanics involved in buying or selling a house. And while you're trying to sort out all of these red X's that are in your way, everybody has an opinion. Your agent, your lender, your spouse, your friends, the internet, your cousin that bought a house 6 years ago and now speaks like a decorated field general. So all of these various X's here, they may seem huge to you. And figuring out the way around them might be confusing and a little scary. Excuse me. But here's the good news. All of these red X's that are out there in your path are actually not the real problem. They're just symptoms. The real problem is that you've got no way to know the correct path, the pro-level way to confront or avoid any of these problems or the things that are concerning you. And if you don't know, you then have no way to direct or control the process as it unfolds. And frankly, most folks can't, so you're not alone. And it's not because they're careless. It's because this whole project is complicated, it's expensive, it can be very emotional, and it is very easy to get wrong. You can even hire a professional, but that's not really going to help you with that. You still aren't going to have any idea whether their strategy is going to cost you money or if they're performing at an elite level. So today, I want to give you a better way to think about your next home move and a simple framework to do it so that you can know the right moves to make and that you can maintain control. And the result of this is going to be a game plan that will quickly and easily get you around all of these X's. Call it a shortcut to get your dream outcome and avoid all of these, to jump right over the top of all of that. I should do it in gold. This is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? Now, historically, folks have had two different options when it comes to this real estate journey here, right? Option one is to go it alone. And to hope. And then option number two is to hire a realtor and hope. Every one of you has been thinking about this entire project in one of these two ways right here. Go it alone or get a realtor and hoping. And every single person that has ever done this in history has done the exact same thing. If you're going to go it alone, you're going to watch videos and read headlines and scroll through listings and ask your friends and talk to a lender. Nowadays, you might pull up Claude or ChatGPT and piece together a plan. Or you hire a realtor and outsource the control and the strategy to them and hope that they get it right. This is what most people do, right? Most people hire a realtor because it's somebody that they know or they're related to or they were referred to or maybe they met somewhere. And that sounds reasonable. Realtors absolutely can be helpful. I am one, right? But hiring somebody is not the same thing as knowing whether the strategy is right. And that right there is a very dangerous gap. You might have enough knowledge to be confident, but not enough to see where actual money can get lost or what the best decision can be or where money can actually be made. So that is why I have come up with option number 3. And this is what I'm going to be talking to you about today. It's a new option to help you get what you want. And the key point, it's for whether or not you have a realtor or whether you're going to not even hire one at all. The whole point of this third option is so that you are in charge. And over the next couple of minutes here, I'm going to show you how the plan works and how it's going to solve that fundamental problem of you not maintaining control and not knowing. And I'm also going to explain to you what are the milestones that are involved that you have to achieve, the obstacles that are standing in your way, and the various missions that we need to go on for you to overcome them. And the result of that is so that you can stay in control, you can avoid the costly mistakes, and that you can make your next move like a pro. This isn't really a class. It's certainly not a sales pitch. It's a simple plan and a framework to make sure that you get what you want. So let me tell you who this is for. This is specifically what I'm going to be talking about today. This is specifically for serious home buyers and sellers that are making a $500,000 to $2 million next move. So it's not for the casual Zillow scrollers or fantasy shopping or maybe someday. This is for the person that knows that their next move matters. And that next move, there could be a lot of different reasons for it. Maybe your current home no longer fits you. Maybe you need more space. Maybe you're thinking about downsizing, or kids or work or family or money or school, or life timing has changed. Okay, whatever it is, you're trying to figure out, do we buy, do we sell, do we keep the house, do we rent, or do we just pause everything, or do we accelerate, right? Maybe you have to sell a house. You don't really want to, right? The frustrating part is all of these various different options, they all have consequences, right? If you buy first, that's a consequence. If you sell first, there's a consequence. If you keep your existing home and rent it out, or if you just wait, or if you move fast, there's a ripple effect for any of those kinds of decisions. So the important first question is, what is the right next move? Whether you're buying or selling, whether you've decided to pause or step on the gas, what's the right next move? So let me tell you a quick real world story that perfectly illustrates the importance of why you need to know what the right moves are and why you need to have control. In fact, I didn't print this out. Let me grab this. So a few weeks ago, some clients and I visited a house, okay? This right here, this is a printout from the MLS on this. And let me just quickly read this to you. Exceptionally upgraded 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, boasting beautiful curb appeal, beautifully remodeled with a new kitchen and inviting living room, stylish upgrades, newer vanities, fixtures, lighting, tile surrounds, flooring, defined outdoor entertaining space, an incredible opportunity to own a turnkey home. Now, this sounds amazing, doesn't it? But when we got there, this house was a complete mess. It was disgusting. The furniture was totally different than was in the pictures. The upgrades talked about there were 15 years old. They were super tired. Furthermore, it was actually a business. It was an active substance abuse recovery home. Now, of course, facilities like that are super important, but a heads up would have been super nice from the agent. This place was such a dump and the vibe was so bad. But here's the essential point of why you need to take control of your own real estate journey. The listing agent on this house was a top 5 agent in the county, and one of the top agents, oh, I just lost the stream here. Let me make sure this is still going. Again, proof. This is not recorded. In fact, I printed out from their website. I won't tell you the city because it's not about this particular agent. Here's the summary. #1 realtor in this particular city for 24 straight years. #1 resale agent in Orange County for the last 5 years. $2.7 billion in lifetime sales. And $275 million closed last year alone. There are only a handful of agents that sell more houses. But think about the seller of this house. I am sure they have no idea what a disaster their listing is. They hired one of the top selling agents in the country, and it's going to cost them 15 to 20% of the value of the home because of the way they're bringing it to market. Right here on the MLS, they're advertising a Nordstrom level high-end retail property. But in reality, this home is a total fixer, a wholesale product. This is going to cost them $150,000, $250,000. My clients couldn't wait to get out of that house, and he's off somewhere confident that he's hired an expert having absolutely no idea of the money that's just hemorrhaging all over the marketplace. He's delegated he's delegated control of his real estate journey to a professional, and he's getting absolutely wrecked. If this seller hadn't placed what I'm about to talk to you, then his result would have been completely different. So let's start with the goal in mind, what we actually want. And this is your, I'm going to write this in gold here. This is your dream outcome. And your dream outcome is to make your next move like a pro, okay? Whether you're buying or selling, the goal would be to execute at an elite level where there are no cost of the mistakes, all of the hidden landmines along the way are anticipated, and full control is maintained throughout. That is the dream outcome. So if you're buying, that looks like getting the right house at the best possible price. And if you're selling, this is the highest possible net sales price, the amount of money that you get when it is all said and done. That is what it looks like to buy or sell like a pro. And this doesn't mean that you need to become a realtor, right? It doesn't mean you need to learn every single contract paragraph or become obsessed with market statistics. It just means that you need to know the right next step, that you understand the right strategy, that you know where the risks are, that you know how to avoid cost of the mistakes and stay in control. Okay. And if you're hiring a realtor, that you're working with them like a pro, not just a passenger. Okay. And both of these results, whether buying or selling, this all has to be done in the timing that's right for you. That's another critical part of it. So there you go. Great. Just do that. Just buy or sell like a pro, get the lowest price or get the highest selling price for your house. Thanks for watching and good luck. Well, of course, it's not that simple, right? And it's because there are some obstacles in our way from achieving that. And what I've discovered is that these obstacles that are in the way are usually some version of three main things. And I'm going to write these in red. Obstacle number one, I call costly confidence. Costly confidence is when you think that you're safer than you actually are. Like that guy selling that house. I'm sure he's totally confident he hired a pro. It's the person that says, my agent's going to handle it. Or it's the person that says, you know what, I bought and sold a home before, I know how this works. So it's not people that are careless, they're smart, right? And that's the danger. Knowing enough to feel confidence, but not actually knowing enough to see where real money gets lost or gets made. And the important question here for you is this: do you actually know which decisions in your next move are most likely going to cost you money if you get them wrong? Or do you know the correct decisions that will avoid the cost of the mistakes or make you money? If the honest answer to this question is no, it's not a character flaw. It's just an obstacle and a problem that we need to solve. Okay, so obstacle number two, I call reactive timing. Reactive timing. Oh, you know what? I didn't share the screen. There. Sorry about that. And that doesn't look great. Reactive timing. Oh, let me shrink this. It's not working right either. There we go. Now you can see this better. A little bit of technical difficulties. Okay. Should be able to see this better. Okay, great. So, reactive timing. Reactive timing is when you wait for something else to force your move. Whether it's the right house coming on the market or the market temperature itself or a listing appointment or a family deadline, agent's advice, or things have built up where you decide, okay, now I need to actually do something. This is how people end up in an expensive fire drill, reacting to things that come up before them. Circumstances dictating your timing rather than controlling and guiding the timing yourself. That's an obstacle. If obstacle number one is not being sure exactly what to do, the obstacle number two is not knowing when to do it. So do you have a timeline that's mapped out for you, or are you just reacting to whatever comes into you and forces you to take action? So this is the second obstacle that we need to overcome. And that brings us to the third obstacle. And this I call moving blind. Moving blind is what happens if your process has already started, if obstacles number 1 and 2 aren't already overcome. Frankly, unless you started your real estate journey about 2 seconds before watching this, you may have already run into things that are costly or are making your dream outcome more difficult to obtain, right? You're talking to agents or you're looking at homes or comparing comps, evaluating advice, trying to understand the marketplace, maybe figuring out how to write an offer or to determine your listing price. And these are decisions that are under pressure. And you're not sure whether what you're doing is smart or lazy, or if you're getting advice that's biased or outdated or incomplete or just plain bad. So here's the important question for you about timing. When pressure starts and things have started to happen or they're going to start happening, will you know whether the advice you're getting is good? And will you be able to make those decisions seeing what you should see, or are you making those decisions blind? So those are our 3 obstacles: a costly confidence, reactive timing, and actually moving forward while blind. So there actually is a solution to each one of these. There's a milestone that we want to reach that will help us overcome each of these obstacles. And there are 3 of them. The pro strategy is what kills the costly confidence. A custom blueprint fixes the reactive timing problem. And the controlled move fixes moving blind. So I'm going to write these in here on green. So we have a pro strategy that addresses costly confidence, a custom blueprint that fixes reactive timing, and a controlled move that overcomes the obstacle of moving blind. So I want to quickly walk through all of these because each of these 3 different solutions has 3 distinct missions to help you accomplish them. And I'm going to mark them here. There's 3 things that you need to have a pro strategy, 3 things that you need for the custom blueprint, and 3 things for the controlled move. So let's walk through these quickly, okay? So firstly, with the pro strategy, the pro strategy is what kills costly confidence. The pro strategy solution answers the question, this is answering the question of what to do. Okay? Firstly, we need a plan. What are all the smart moves that need to be taken? And I want you to think of the smart moves that need to be taken like ingredients in a recipe. Right now, do you know what your smart next move is, or is it just a variety of options you have out in front of you? Okay, so first mission is the smart move. And then the second is to make sure that all of those smart moves are actually done in the correct order. So mission number 2 is that we need to sequence those moves. Doesn't look very clear. Sequence move. Knowing what you should be doing is great, but the proper order matters. Just having correct ingredients isn't enough. A great decision that's made out of place can still be a costly mistake. Do you know the correct order of how things should be unfolding on your real estate journey? Or are you just kind of planning on figuring them out as you go along? And then the third thing we need to do is we need to spot the potential leaks. And this is a big one. This is how we readily apply those recipe ingredients that we just planned and we just sequenced. It's being ready for when things come up in real time to know what to look for and to anticipate that they're going to happen. Let me give you an example of this. I met with some buyers years ago. They were working with the listing agent before meeting me. They were working with the listing agent to try to buy a house. Now that actually can be a good strategy. But unfortunately, these folks were without any of the things that I'm showing you right here. So they were literally moving blind with no pro strategy, okay? Turns out that this agent had filled out the contract for them such that they were going to be responsible for about $14,000 of the seller's closing costs. And they had no idea that the contract was written like that. Now that is a big leak. That in their case, that was a $14,000 leak. And it just came down to 2 line items on a 17-page contract. They didn't know where to look and they didn't have any idea that it was happening. Okay, so this is solution number 1, the pro strategy to kill costly confidence. So let's talk about solution number 2, and that is the custom blueprint. And this solves our problem of reactive timing. And what this solves is, this is the when. Solution 1 is the what, solution number 2 is when. This is where all of those steps and the things that you're going to do actually get mapped onto a timeline based upon your life. It's not based upon somebody else's timeline, not your realtor, not the marketplace, or whatever might be coming up along the way, because it's your money, it's your move, it's your goals, and all of that is based upon what is best for you and everything else going on in your life. So the first mission here is establishing what I call a target date. That's the first mission for solution 2. Establishing a target date. That is the goal of the completion. When do you actually want to reach your goal? Whether you're closing escrow on a purchase or of a sale of a home. Now, it could be written in pencil. You know, life happens and you want to be able to be flexible with that. But we want to have at the start at least an intended goal. Do you have a completion date established for your optimal outcome? Or are your dates and timelines subject to the marketplace or other outside influences? Because if you're not controlling this, someone or something else will control it for you. So the next one, mission number 5, is we need to map out all of the building stages in this blueprint. Once we have the target date, then the timeline itself can be mapped out using all of the solutions that we set up in solution number 1. All of the what's then get laid out on the timeline based upon your target date. And that's which decisions need to be made when, whether it's preparation or market evaluation. When do we start writing offers? When does the house need to go on the market? When you know the stages, then you can figure out what needs to be done right now or what doesn't actually matter right now. What can matter down the line? And that's kind of a pressure release valve for you. So you're dealing with decisions not only in the right sequence, but in the right timing for your own personal plan. Do you know when the stages for your personal plan and your next steps are supposed to happen? Or are you in a place where it all kind of feels like one giant pile of decisions that are somewhere out in your future? And then lastly, for solution 2, mission 6, is that we are going to build your position. And here's what I mean by this. We want to build our position before the marketplace and all of our decisions and options start to put the pressure on us. Now, that could be getting financially prepared. That could be getting your current home ready. That could mean picking the right professionals, lenders, realtors. And it might be figuring out when the walk away point comes up before emotions start taking over. These 3 missions are how we establish the custom blueprint to fit this entire journey onto your life. Then the last solution, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is I call it the controlled move. And this fixes moving blind because the real world itself is actually messy. It doesn't just fit neatly here onto an iPad with an iPencil with all these color-coded numbers, right? Things come up. So the first mission in solution 3 in controlling the move is to enter the market intentionally. Oops, my screen got messed up. All right. So the first is once to enter the market itself. Everything in the first 2 solutions is kind of on the side of the road. The next step is we're on the on-ramp and we're just about to get out onto the freeway. So when entering the market, you want to enter the market intentionally, right? Whether on the buy side, if it's starting to tour houses or your listing actually going live into the MLS, all of that is done with a plan. Do you want to enter the market with a clear plan at the right time with guidance? Or just because it feels like it's time to move and doing something would be productive? Once we start into the marketplace, then the next thing we need to do is read the market to understand it. This is the system we put in place so your particular market segment, your area, your price range, the specific type of product that we're dealing with, that you can understand it. Now, you don't need a PhD. You don't need to spend 12 hours a day studying graphs about it, but you do need a simple program so that you can understand inventory levels and pricing and demand and the time on the market and the competition that's out there so that you know when you want to push or pause, or move fast, or when it's time to walk away. Can you read the market well enough to know it in order to help you? That's the question. And then lastly, mission number 9. This is the actual execute the move. This is the final step. If you're buying, this is writing the offer and trying to actually get the house. Or if you're listing, you've got an offer that's coming in. This is the high point. How do we do the offer? What things need to be considered? What things need to be ignored? And what things need to be done to get across the final finish line? It's where everything comes together. And it's where it all comes down to whether you're moving like a pro or if you're just a passenger on that journey. So my favorite recent story about this, actually moving like a pro, is there was a young couple that I was helping, and it was a multiple offer situation. And my guy's offer was not the lowest offer. One of the offers they were competing against was not only higher in price, it was an all cash buyer. My guys were getting a loan. But my guys ended up getting the house. I'm sure when this whole thing was done and finished, when the other agents that had those buyers got notified that the house had actually closed and they're looking on their phone and they saw what the final price was, I'm sure they had a heart attack. Their buyers offered more for the house. They were paying cash, yet they didn't get the house. How does something like that happen? Well, something like that happens when you are running this system. The really simple version of all of this is that if you're in the $500,000 to $2 million next move range, you don't want to be guessing. You don't want to blindly outsource control and then just hope. You want to make that next move like a pro. You need the pro strategy so you know what actually matters. You need a custom blueprint so everything fits in your life. And then you need a controlled move so you have the right view while decisions are happening in real time. And this is what Haus Advantage was built to help with. Private independent guidance for serious buyers or sellers making that next move. It's not representation. It's not a pitch to be your realtor. It's not putting you subject to the pressure of somebody else wanting to earn a commission on their timeline. It's all about you avoiding costly mistakes, controlling that process, and making that next move like a pro, not a passenger. So if you want to know where you're exposed right now in the potential of today's current marketplace, you can actually take my free real estate readiness assessment. It's a 4-minute thing online. It's free. It takes 4 quick minutes, and it'll show you exactly where you are ready and where you aren't ready. I'm going to put a link in the description below in the comments, or you can go right to houseadvantage.com. But if you already know that this is the kind of help you would like for your next move, here's what I want you to do. Go to Instagram to MP House and DM me the word control, and I will send you what the next steps would be. Before you buy or sell, before you pause or sprint, you need to know the next right move. It is too expensive and there is too much money at stake to try to figure any of this out on the fly. So 2 things to do. Number 1 is the link will be in the comments, or you can also do this. If you just go straight to houseadvantage.com, right at the top, you will see a button there for the assessment. A couple of quick minutes, you can find out exactly how ready you are. Or if you would like immediate help right now, go to MP House on Instagram and DM me the word control. And I'll send you more information about the next step of how I can help you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, please message me also on that Instagram, and I will see you soon.